Daith da, Nagan. Welcome to podcast number 168. You may well have seen on our Facebook page and website that last Friday we did have a very rare occurrence, a very sad occurrence. We had Sheila's funeral all booked in, ready to go, and sadly we had to postpone it because between her passing away and her funeral, her son Simon too sadly passed away. So we had a meeting with the family and it was decided that we would postpone her funeral and then have a joint funeral for the pair of them. And I think that announcement actually has gone up today. Very sad. Simon, I've seen over the last 12 months or so how he have gone downhill. And I know the last time before I saw him when he was arranging Mother's funeral, we was talking about doing the Martin Jennings motorbike ride, which sadly he was not fit enough to do. But we'll talk about that more again in the weeks to come. But I say that was a rare event, a sad event. And then we had Robert's funeral in the afternoon there as well, Glyn Valley on Friday. So into the weekend, it started not very restfully, shall I say that? We had 1.5 calls during the night, Friday night, Saturday morning. They was both actually after midnight. Me and Andrew was on, and the first call must have been about 2:15 in the morning, I think, on Saturday, something like that. We had to go to a nursing home out of town. I won't say which one it was, but we had to go to a nursing home. So I said, yep, we're on our way, and we're usually there within, 45 minutes, no problem. So I would say we was about 5 minutes away from the home, and my mobile phone went, and this is the home again. And the nurse there said, I've made a mistake. I'm so sorry, but I didn't realise that this person is going to have to go to the coroner. So, of course, the coroners now, they have their own undertakers, and she's obviously, we don't do that bit anymore. So we turned around and come back home, got back into bed, been in bed perhaps about an hour and a half, and the phone went again. And this time we had to go to Stratton. Now, Stratton is up near Bude, which is quite a way away. So I didn't get much sleep at all that night, I tell you. Less than normal, put it that way. So I wasn't really feeling that lively for the fact that in that evening, on Saturday evening, we was out on the town, or at St. Melian, to put it in another way, for the Cornwall Area National Association of Funeral Directors dinner dance. And it was a lovely evening up there. Aisha, she was the president for the second year running. And we was there with our little gang that we always have every year. I did put some photos on, and we did have a lovely evening, I must admit. But I just can't believe how 12 months have gone by. And we actually stayed there the night and then had breakfast and come back home the next day. On our way home on Sunday, we did go into Pencarrow House, which is halfway between Bodmin and Wadebridge, and they had their Christmas craft fair there, where loads of people come, set up their stalls. It's on 2 days, and loads of people there. It was even, I tell you. And you actually go in part of the house. They don't give you a guided tour then, but you can see bits of the house. But for those of you that aren't from round here, you want to Google Pencarrow, because it's a fantastic house. If you come here on holiday, it is well worth the trip. They do local tours, in and around the house and that, for all visitors, which is very interesting. And I think the house has been in the Molesworth family now for, about 500 years. They now Molesworth St Albans, but the Molesworth family, and we've known them, for years actually, a very long time. Lovely family. And 'tis well worth a visit to go and have a look around if you're down this way. So then, to round off the weekend, Sunday evening, we were sat on the settee and Beth was trying to do something on her phone and she couldn't get it sus, so I kind of leant over. Well, in the middle was one of our cats, and she had a swipe at me. I'll go through it in a minute. I'll give you the background anyway, because I ain't into cats really like that. I prefer the dogs. But when we moved in here, we did have a couple of cats. And then one of them started going over to Trelawney, the garden centre. And Dave Dannon would ring up, here, we got your cat here. So we go and pick it up and bring it back. And of course, the poor beggar, one of the days he did get run over. So Beth and the maids, they said, we'd like to have another one. So Beth went to a rescue home for cats and dogs and got this lovely looking cat called Tommy. And he was a beauty, but he did have a bit of a vicious streak, I must admit. So anyway, we'd had Tommy for a year or two. And one morning I was going to work and I said to Beth, I said, I don't know a lot about cats, but I said, Ian very well. There's something wrong with him. I said, look how his stomach's bloated. So she said, well, I'm free today. I'll take him up to the vets. So she took Tommy up to the vets. Well, by the time I come home 5 o'clock, Tommy was now Tammy and was expecting kittens. So that was a bit of surprise for me and for Tommy, I think, as well. So anyway, it was quite interesting. One of the best things I've ever witnessed, we actually watched the birth of the kittens, which was lovely. Tommy, because we did change him to Tammy, but then we ended up calling him Tommy again because Tammy didn't stick. Tommy only lived a few years later, then he sadly died of cancer. But in the meantime, of his kittens, we decided we'd keep one. So we kept this lovely black one, beautiful looking cat, but he had the bloomin' vicious streak in it. Even to this day, if you walk a little bit too close, his bloomin' claws will get out and he'll scratch you on the leg. And a few years ago, it was the summertime, evening time, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I had a call. Somebody passed away out Port Quinn area, so I had to go. So I jump in the car, so I'm reversing back slowly, and I see Luna, this is the new cat, in me mirror. And I thought, if I go slowly, she's bound to get out the blooming way. Well, the next thing, I hear this squeal, and I see her running off down the side of the house. So I had to keep going, so I rung Beth on my phone in the car, and I said, I think I've run over the cat. So sure enough, I caught his leg. So we took him up to the vets, and the vet said, right, you got 3 choices. Now, bearing in mind, our dogs are insured, but the cat's ain't. So he said, we can put the cat down or chop his leg off. We can end up with a 3-legged cat. I can try and repair his leg myself, or we can send him away to get a bionic leg. So we thought, right, well, he was still a healthy cat. There's no point in putting him down. We didn't like the idea of him getting one of his legs chopped off. So we went for the middle option, which was about £1,000. If it was the bionic leg, it would have been about £3,500. But we go for the middle option, which was about £1,000. And the vet did a viddy job. He really did. Because to this day, if you see Luna walking, you can't tell that I run over her once. Run over him once. I get me cats mixed up. But anyway, he had that vicious streak. So like I say, Sunday evening, we sat there on the settee, I lean over, and next thing he claws me, he catches me just by me nose, on the bridge of me nose, on the side of me nose, but he caught me eye. Now, thankfully, I was so lucky, he just nipped me eyelid. He didn't, thankfully, me eye was shut, because if he'd scratched me eyeball, it just don't bear thinking about. But he scratched me eyelid, and quite soon it did start swelling up. So went to bed. I'd put a cold compress on it, cleaned it off. But the next day, as it was going on, it was changing colour. I did put a photo on my personal Facebook page, rather. And I did send an email with the app to the doctors. So doctor said, send us a photo, which I did. And he said, there's high risk that could be infected. So I'm dosed up on antibiotics. But it wasn't the best way to round off the weekend. And the next day after that, the top half of my eyelid had gone black. So it was like I had half a black eye. The bottom half was fine. But it's a weird looking thing. It is getting better now. The swelling have gone. Colour is almost back to what it was like. But it was a bit worrying there for a minute or two, I must admit. So apart from that, my week had been fairly quiet, really. I was even intending to have a day off, but it never seems to work out. And I've been, in work every day. I did manage 1 hour off. I think it was Tuesday, and 1 hour off today to do an interview today for my next podcast. But, our cars have been out on hire. Our men have been out on hire as well. But it's definitely been a bit quieter until tomorrow. And tomorrow is absolutely manic. I'll talk about it next week, but we are flat out tomorrow. Anyway, that's enough of that. So now we'll go over to Terry's last part of his podcast. And there is a funny bit. He said about it afterwards. There's a bit there where he talks about all the pubs that were in Bodmin. And I tell you what, there was a lot of pubs in Bodmin. And he run through them all, which was proper. Then when I saw him the next time, he said, there's one pub I forgot. So I said, okay. And we decided we better mention it because it was actually run by his auntie and his uncle. So it's run by family, dear of him. It slipped his mind. And that was the Queen's Head in Bodmin. And that was run by Jack and Eva Cornish. And interesting story, actually. Their son, John, he used to live up the road from us in Glen Road when I was younger. And I think I was about 4 years old and I had a convulsion. And bearing in mind that Father was so high up in St. John Ambulance, fantastic first aider, apparently he just froze. I stopped breathing, didn't breathe for a few minutes. And somebody said, go up to John Cornish, up the road. He's a first aider. So they went at ambulance man. So they went up and got John. And apparently just as he got in the door, I just started breathing again. He looked after me. But it was a bit, I say a bit scary. I ain't got a clue. I can't remember nothing about it. But looking back, it was a bit scary. But anyway, so dear old Terry, he forgot his auntie and uncle. How about that? But we'll go over to Terry now. For the final bit. This is lovely. This is we're talking about bits of Bodmin and everything again, as well as other things. And I'm sure you'll love it. And then I'll speak to you directly. So, here it is. So, Anne was a Padstow maid. And you in Bodmin. Is that right? Or?
Well, the thing, Anne wasn't born in Padstow. Her parents were both Padstow people.
Of course, she was Weybridge,
She was Bridge.
Yeah, I forgot that. Was she Queen's Park?
Queen's Park.
Yeah, that's right.
She was with my cousin the first time I met her.
Oh, right.
Richard, up at Boscastle Dance up at the Wellington.
Right.
And then I think she realised, the sun shone brighter with me. So I met her out at Rose Hill. Not that long after that.
That was quite a place in its time, wasn't it?
Friday nights, it was
yeah.
flying. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
You get the Padstow boys there. And, of course, quite a few of us camels would go out there on a Friday night.
And for anybody that don't know, that's like just Little Petherick, isn't it? Yeah, just going out Little Petherick towards
up the hill and in on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be good out there.
Who really run that then? Do you remember?
Not sure what they were called.
I don't know.
No, I can't remember. But it was good atmosphere up there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Rick took over the Puffing Club.
Yeah.
And that was quite a place to go. Used to go there on a Saturday after the game. My God, it's like the Wild West show.
Was it really?
Yeah. Christ, it was good.
Yeah.
And then he decided to turn it into a restaurant.
Yeah.
He's been there 50 years as a restaurant.
Yeah, never looked back.
No. It's been really good.
Yeah. So when did you get married then? Put it on the spot now.
You have, mate. This is my 50th year.
Is
50th
it really?
wedding anniversary this year. 31st of May, 1975.
Well, I never.
And all our friends said, "'Twon't last. Never last." Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We were lucky, really. I mean, Anne, she ribs me about it all the time, really. She did her midwifery. She did her state enrolled nurse, and then she thought about going into pediatrics and that, so she decided to do her midwifery. She got through her midwifery, and I phoned her up one night. Of course, didn't have mobiles then.
No,
I always used to phone her from the local box down the road because Mum and Dad didn't have a phone. I phoned her up and she said, I'm going to go away. I'm going to go and do children's nursing. So I said, oh, all right. So we were engaged. I thought, Christ, she's going away. What am I going to do? So I said, well, we better get married then, haven't we? She said, are you asking me to marry you? I said, well, yeah, I suppose I am. So that was that. So I didn't get down on one knee.
No.
I could have in the phone box, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll say you did for this recording in case she listens to it.
Yeah. So, we got married, and the district nurse midwife's job came up in Weybridge.
Right.
So she put in for it, and with it went to nurse's house.
Oh, brilliant.
Over at Eglos Park.
Right, yeah.
But I'd got a plot of land, or we'd got a plot of land up at Wellington Place, because the council had released 20 plots up there for self-build.
Right, okay.
So we got a plot of land. So I was building a bungalow up there when we got married. So we lived at Eglos Park, I think, for about maybe 2 or 3 months before we moved into the bungalow. And then I think we were married for about 3 years, and then Emma came along. And then nearly 3 years after that, Joanne came along.
Yeah.
So we thought the bungalow's a bit small, so we ended up in a place over Treforest.
Oh, yeah.
And we both said, don't really like this place.
No.
Doesn't feel our own, you know. So I said, right, I'm going to build again. So where we are now, Dave Derry, Malcolm Dingle, and Derek Dunn had put in to get planning permission up here to split it up into 3 plots. So it kept getting refused. Different things, the last wooded area of Weybridge, lots of natural flowers here and all that. Yeah. Anyway, Derek and Mary got fed up with it. They had a chance of another place, so that the Malcolm and Dave said, Derek said, I might be interested in coming in. So he came and saw us and said, would you like to take over Derek's place? So we said, yeah. So he said, well, we haven't got planning permission yet. So I said, well, don't worry, because I haven't sold my house yet. No. So must have been a couple months after I decided to go in with them, they got planning permission. Right. Ivan Fisher helped them. They went to appeal, and Ivan helped them a lot, I think. And then about 2 weeks after they got planning permission for this, we had a couple came, the old couple from the Golden Fry, who started the Golden Fry. Yeah. And they came in, and I showed them around, and we went down, the garage was underneath the lounge, and we walked down into the garage, and she was looking around, and he was standing there, and she came up and she grabbed my arm. She said, how much would he take for cash, boy? Oh, get away. Yeah. Oh, you sold some spuds, mate. Yeah, exactly. So it all fell into place. Yeah. And then we went, we got a flat above Kevin Mosley's dentist in Molesworth Street, and we were there for, 12 months while I built the house. We got planning permission through and built the house. So you did obviously a big lot of it then? I subcontracted out the shell to Dudley Gill. Oh, remember Dudley? I do, yeah. And his brother John. Yeah. I think it was John Bungalow's father. Oh, yes, yeah, of course. So they did all the block work. Colin Haynes, I was friendly with Colin, so I paid Colin to come and do the chipping. Yeah. And I helped, so we helped put the roof on. Charles Hewitt even came up one day because he was a good friend. Yeah. And when we were putting all the trusses up, so he was up swinging around the trusses. I I did all the plumbing, did a lot of the helping with Sid Bolsh and his boys to do chasing out the walls for the wiring and everything. And then it was just a matter of fitting the place out, really.
Yeah.
So I did that. And, we've been here for nearly 40 years.
Yeah.
And the place is on the market. Anybody want to buy it?
Well, if you sell it, I'll get a bit of commission.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a bloody zero Guinness, mate.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So social life then over the years, obviously you said about Rose Hill and that, and obviously social life after the rugby as well.
Tall trees.
Oh, yes.
Blue Lagoon used to be years ago,
Yeah.
just hanging around in pubs and
Yeah,
things,
exactly. Yeah.
Just what young people do.
Yeah, that's right.
Times change, Dave.
Yeah.
And changing fast, mate.
Yeah, not always for the best either.
No. I hope they don't go and ruin Bridge.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, Bodmin, having lived there for sort of a bit of my life and seeing what it was like then and what it's like now, it's a completely different town.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to, when the barracks were full on, we used to go up there sometimes on the range and pick up bullet heads.
Oh,
You'd
right.
get the range master come and chase you off.
Get away. Yeah.
It's things that kids don't know these days.
No. I say, did you ever go down Dunmere then?
Yeah, all the time. We'd go down there. We weren't allowed to swim.
Okay.
There was one thing that was drilled into us not to swim because a schoolmate of mine, Michael Reynolds, drowned down there when he was 11 years old. They were swimming up in the dam.
Yeah.
And he drowned. But my grandfather used to say they used to have regattas down there.
Did they?
When he was a boy.
Yeah.
Swimming competitions and everything. No, it was drilled into us. You mustn't go in the river. We used to go fishing down there. We used to be members of Bodmin Anglers and that and go fishing. No, it was a great place to play, really, down in the woods. I mean, if you going down Dunmere Hill and look across to the woods, on the left-hand side of Dunmere Hill going up towards Weybridge, there used to be a rhododendron tunnel.
Right. All right.
And it was a complete tunnel that you could go through of rhododendron bushes. Yeah, we used to have camps up there and things, defend your camp.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great being a kid in Bodmin, Your parents would, they'd go off to work in the morning school holidays and you'd go off, you wouldn't see them till it was tea time.
No.
And nobody used to worry.
No, exactly.
It was one of those things. You meet up with your mates and off you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want my kids to do that now.
No, definitely not. I mean, I remember when I got my first push bike, I was at boys' school, but you'd go off right down Cutler's Bridge, down Pulmola, and you'd be, by yourself even. Well, you wouldn't do it now, would you?
No way.
So did they have a cinema in Bodmin when you
Oh, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Burris.
Okay.
They were an Irish couple. Used to run the Bug Hutch, we used to call it. And he was a beauty. He used to come down with his flashlight, sort of with his torch, flashing around. And they used to have a balcony.
Right.
Of course, if you had a girlfriend, you used to try like hell to get up in the balcony in the dark. But yeah, he used to come down. Get your feet off the seats, he used to say. Yeah, get your feet off the seats. And so there's someone upset a packet of Maltesers and they roll all the way down through them. Yeah, Christ. That was in the days when you'd smoke in the cinema as well.
Oh, yes.
Everybody'd get up and try and run out the bottom door before the Queen came in on her horse. Play the national anthem. Yeah,
and pubs in Bodmin, there was loads of pubs, wasn't there?
We used to try and do a pub crawl.
Right.
And one of the lads worked in St. Lawrence's, one of our mates, and we used to start in the social club. So we'd have half a pint in the social club, half a pint in the Cat and Fiddle, half a pint in the Garland Ox. And so it would go, there'd be the Garland Ox, Mason's Arms, Barley Sheaf, Royal Hotel, and then you go down to 15s, which was the Cornish Arms. Of course, we all used to drink down there when we was 15 years old.
Oh, did he?
But it was called 15s because it had the 15 balls of Cornwall above. Then there was Hole in the Wall,
Yeah.
across the road to White Hart. Then there was the Duke of Cornwall, George and Dragon. Christ, used to be hammered by the time you end up in bloody public rooms for the dance. That'd be like a Wild West show in there. Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to... We've covered quite a bit, really, haven't we?
Yeah. The life of a Bodmin idiot. Yeah, it was good.
And of course, we was going in Bodmin the other day and we was talking about the winter. When was that?
1963.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I was doing a paper round then. I used to do a paper round from Free Library right up through 4th Street up to the top clock.
Right.
And I can remember quite often the papers never used to come. But I'd go in the fields down in behind Jubilee Terrace. Of course, there were no houses there then. It was just fields. And there'd be lapwings and birds with their feet frozen into the ground, dead, lying dead. The camel just about 20 feet up from the dam was frozen. I can remember doing a paper round one morning in freezing rain. I used to wear one of these duffel coats, with the wooden buttons and things. I had my hood up and it was just a sheet of ice. I remember walking in home afterwards and Mother said, "Go out and take that off outside." She said, "Don't bring that ice in here." So I had to go out the back, take the coat off, shake all the ice off of it. But then again, school never closed.
No, exactly.
We all used to meet up by the top clock, all us boys, and walk then from top clock up over Barn Lane, out through Algaver and down to the school.
Yeah.
And we used to have snowball fights on the way, and you'd get in school and you'd be soaking wet, bloody freezing cold. And school was always open. They might have been late, but you never got sent home.
Yeah.
It was incredible, different to what it's like these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were good times, and that was one hell of a winter.
Yeah.
I remember going up on Bodmin Moor, and the snow, they'd gone through with diggers, and the snow was about 12, 15 foot high where they heaped it up. And they had a lorry on Dosmary Pool.
Did they?
Yeah, because Dosmary Pool isn't very deep.
Right.
So the ice was about 2 foot thick. And this lorry was driven it onto Dosmary Pool. But God, that was one hell of a winter.
Yeah.
It really was. And I mean, in those days, we didn't have central heating.
No, of course.
We just had, a fire and electric heater.
Yeah.
That was all you had. You'd go to bed with your clothes on there.
Yeah.
It's,
of course,
cold.
We haven't mentioned sister, either of us.
Trish.
Yeah. So is she older or younger?
No, she's older than me.
Yeah.
She's 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
She was a nurse. She went to Bristol to do her nursing. She married George, who was a local boy, George Burke, who got me in the dockyard, really, because he was a dockyard apprentice.
Yeah.
And he kept on to me saying it was the best place you could have an apprenticeship. It was brilliant. So that's what got me into the dockyard. And then I got up there, and about 2 or 3 weeks after I got there, he left.
Oh, okay. Any reason for that?
No, just came back. He had a job back in Ranco Controls, and he worked in Ranco. And then he married my sister, and they emigrated to Canada.
Did they really?
Yeah, and they lived in Mississauga, which was it was a suburb of Toronto. They lived there for 6 years, and George worked for the big motor company out there. Okay. But I don't think George could stick the winters.
No.
George liked walking. He walked everywhere. And I think the winters he found hard.
Yeah.
So they decided to come back. They came back, and George worked for, he went back and worked for Ranco for a while, and then he worked for British Aerospace in Plymouth. And then when he finished with British Aerospace, he came back and he was a postman in Bodmin.
Was he really?
But unfortunately, well, I don't know how long ago, 8 or 9 years ago, George died of pancreatic cancer, which was one hell of a shock.
Yeah.
But he was a lovely man.
Yeah.
Bodmin family. But yeah, Trish still lives in Bodmin. my sister comes down and dog sits for us now, and she's happy as Larry down here.
Is she? Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
she loves it down here.
Well, thank you, Ter. That was brilliant. So I think if you'd like to say goodbye to everybody now.
Well, I should think you're fed up with me babbling on. God.
No, it's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And saying we can always catch up again.
Yeah.
Of course, the one thing we haven't mentioned is that you're a youth training boy now, isn't it? We haven't mentioned that. One of the youngest ones we got. Well, you look like one of the youngest ones we got, anyway.
I'm glad you say that.
Oh, no, yeah.
I'm glad you say that.
So,
yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I think Charlie and I are the oldest ones you've got.
I think we are, yeah.
Yeah. Christ.
Yeah. Got a few years left in the year anyway.
Yeah, get away.
I think Johnny Ferret was 86 when he retired.
Did he
so,
really?
Yeah.
Christ.
So
Yeah. Oh, well, his boy's carrying on the tradition.
he is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good man.
Right on, mate.
Okay, Dave.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Right on. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye. Thank you, Ter. That was proper. And very interesting. Like we was talking about Bodmin there, and how Bodmin had changed over the years. Say once it was the county town, and of course it had the barracks there, the DCLI barracks. It had the jail before that. It was a county town. It had St. Lawrence's, and it's changed so much over the years. But very interesting to hear what Ter had to say. So for my Cornish word of the week, I think I will do the word for cat, because our cat at the minute, because I am cotton, is still living. And the Cornish word for cat is the easy one. You'll remember this. It's cath, K-A-T-H, cath. And ours is a black cat, so it would be cathdu. Because, like I said before, the Cornish, we put things back to front, so it's really cat black, but it's cathdu, black cat. And the Cornish dialect, again, I'll go for a cat-based one. And this is if somebody's frightened, like a cat that's caught in a corner or something, if he's, looking a bit frightened, agitated, if he's cornered, you'd say he's as scat as a hold cat. He's as scat as a hold cat. So there we go. Right, well, that's it for this week. I got another booty podcast interview again next week. I did it today, so they just keep coming. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that one like you've enjoyed Terry's over the last few weeks. So have a good week. Wish you well. Do Guinness. Carno Bisvicken.